Class 10th, before half yearly we had started Act 4 Scene 1, and after going through Act 4 Scene 1 we have come to know that Duke requested Jew means Shylock, to have mercy on Antonio, as Antonio has to pay. Okay, as Antonio was unable to pay 3,000 ducats on the due date, that's why he has to give a pound of flesh to Shylock. He was requested by many of the officials also, but Jew was very adamant. Okay, he was very stubborn and he was insisting, to have a pound of flesh from Antonio's body and any part of his body which he wants. Okay, which he wishes. Okay. Then Portia, you have come to know that Portia has disguised herself as a lawyer and Nerissa in the form of clerk. Okay, and Portia also requested Shylock to have mercy. Okay, and she said that mercy is twice blessed, as it blesses the person who receives it, and it in the same way it also blesses the person who gives it. Okay, so it was incomplete, few portions were left, so let us complete and see what happened. Okay, when Portia has started fighting the case of Antonio against Shylock. Clear? Class 10th, now come to page number 214 and line 250 of your workbook. Okay, this I am reading from workbook, and you can see in your textbook also, though the line could be different, but from your workbook, that is 214 and line number 250 from Shylock's part. I his breast, so says the bond, doth it not, noble judge, nearest his heart, those are very word. Okay, Shylock says that yes, his chest, breast means chest, that is what the bond says. Does it not, noble judge? He is addressing. Nearest his heart are the exact word which was written in the bond. Portia. Then it is so, are there balance here to weigh the flesh? It is so, is there any weighing machine? Is there any balance means weighing machine to weigh the flesh, to measure the flesh? Shylock. I have them ready. Yes, I have it already. Means I have this weighing machine in order to measure, in order to weight the pound of flesh. Okay. Portia, it is so, are there, Shylock, I have them. Then Portia, have by some surgeon. Okay. Have by some surgeon, Shylock, on your charge, means arrange for a doctor, for a surgeon also to be present here at your own expenses. You have to, you have to take charge of all these expenses and to stop his wounds, lest he do bleed to death. To stop his wounds from bleeding, lest he should bleed to death. When you will cut a pound of flesh, then a doctor should be here in order to stop his bleeding. Okay, stop his wound from bleeding, because it's not written in the bond. It was only written that you will take 1 pound of flesh, but it is not written that the blood should be there, that his wound should be bleeding. Okay, Shylock, it is so nominated in the bond. Is it laid down in the bond that I must do so? Is it so nominated in the bond? Means is it laid down in the bond that I must do so? Portia, it is not so expressed. Okay, it is not so expressed, but what of that? It were good to you, so much of charity. No, it is not laid down. It is not written in the bond. So, but what about that? It is good that you should do so. All these things out of kindness. You should be kind enough. Okay. Now what else? Portia, Shylock, I cannot find, it's not in the bond. I cannot find, it's not in the bond means I can find no such conditions in the bond. Then Portia, come merchant, have you anything to say? Merchant means Antonio. Okay, have you anything to say, Antonio? Now Antonio. But little, Little here means very little, I'll have to say. I'm armed and well prepared. I'm armed and well prepared means I'm very much ready and well prepared. Give me your hand, Bassanio. Give me your hand, Bassanio, and fare you well. Now it's a time to go apart. Now it's a time to fare you well. Say goodbye to you, Bassanio. And what he said, grieve not that I am fallen to this for you. Grieve not that I am fallen this for you means do not grieve, do not be sad that I am going to die because of you. For herein fortune shows herself more kind than is her custom. Because here, for in this instance, in my example, fortune treats me more kindly than she usually does. She usually does. It is her custom. It is still her use to let the wretched man outlive his wealth, to view with hollow eyes and wrinkled brow. Okay, what he said that it is her custom to let the poor man live after his wealth is lost. Though I have lost my wealth, but still I am living, so that with his hollow eyes, with my hollow eyes and wrinkled face, I could see the state of poverty. Clear? An age of poverty, from which lingering penance of such misery doth she cut me off. Commend me to your honorable wife. Okay, now what he said that, so it is her custom to let the poor man live after his wealth is lost, so that his hollow eyes and wrinkled face show his state of poverty. She had spared me from such prolonged suffering. Means it is the custom, it is the nature of luck that it makes the man living for such a long time, so that it could feel the state of his poverty. But it had, in my example, it had spared me from prolonged sufferings. Okay, and now convey my regards. Here, commend me to your honorable wife means convey my regards to your honorable wife, and tell her the process of Antonio's and please tell her the manner of Antonio's death, and please tell her why Antonio had laid his life. Say how I loved you, speak me fair in death, and tell her how much I loved you, and speak well of me after my death. Please praise me after my death. And when the tale is told, tale means story, and when you will tell, and after telling the story, and after telling her everything, ask her to judge. Okay, what he said, and the tale is told, bid her be judge, ask her to be judge, and say that whether Bassanio had not once love, means whether or not Bassanio had a loving friend. Repent not you that you shall lose your friend. Repent means do not regret. You must not only regret the loss of a friend, for that I have no regrets. He repents not that he pays your debt. That is debt. Okay, you must not only regret the loss of a friend, for I have no regrets in paying your debts. Okay? For if the Jew do cut deep enough, I will pay it instantly with all my heart. Okay, if the Jew cuts deep enough, I will immediately pay the debt with all my heart. Bassanio, Antonio, I am married to a wife which is as dear to me as life itself. Now Bassanio, it was Bassanio's turn to speak now. He said that, Antonio, I am married to a wife who is as dear to me as my own life. Means who is very dear to me as my life itself. But life itself, my wife, and all the world are not with me esteemed above thy life. But my life, my wife, and the whole world are not considered by me to be of greater value than your life. Means your life is much valuable to me than all these things. I would lose all, yes, sacrifice them all here to this devil to deliver you. I would lose them all. I am going to sacrifice them all, every one of them, to this devil in order to save you. Okay, Portia, your wife would give you little thank for that if she were by to hear you make the offer. Your wife would thank, though she is his wife, but still she is pretending as if she does not know anything about it. But still she taunted that if the wife would thank you, that your wife would thank you little for this offer, as you are saying that you would sacrifice your wife too, then she would be thankful to you for this offer if she were present to hear when you are making such an offer. Graciano, I have a wife whom I protest I love. Even when the Graciano also said that, even I have a wife whom I swear I love, but I would she were in heaven, but I wish that she were dead and in heaven, so she could entreat some power to change this currish judge. Currish judge, here currish means the cruel judge. Okay, I would prefer, or I would pray that she were dead and in heaven, so that she could plead to some heavenly power, to some god and goddesses, to change the heart of this cruel Jew. Okay, now Nerissa, what she says, it's well, you offer it behind her back. Means Nerissa has also started taunting, as it is as good that you are making this offer when your wife is not present. The wish would make else an unquiet house. Otherwise, your wish would disturb the peace in your household. It will bring disturbance in your household, in your house. Shylock. Now what Shylock says? These be the Christian's husband. I have a daughter. These be the Christian's husband means such are the Christian's husband who are saying such things against their wife. Now what he said? I have a daughter. I have a daughter. I wish what? That would any of the stock of Barbas. Here Barbas means a notorious criminal. And he said that I wish she had married to one in the family of Barabbas, a notorious criminal, rather than a Christian. I have also a daughter, and I wish that she would marry the notorious criminal instead of marrying a Christian. Okay. Now, had been her husband rather than a Christian, aside we trifle time, I pray thee pursue sentence. Now I request you, and he said we are wasting time, I request you to pronounce the sentence, to tell the sentence, to give the punishment. Portia, a pound of that same merchant flesh is thine. The court awards it, and the law doth give it. A pound of this merchant flesh is yours. You can take it. Okay, the court awards it to you. The court is ready to give it to you, and the law has also sanctioned it. Okay. And when Portia said this, Shylock became happy. Most rightful judge, oh, most just judge, very just judge, very noble judge. Okay. And then what's Portia? And you must cut this flesh from off his breast. The law allows it, and the court awards it. Most learned judge, a sentence, come prepare. And you have to cut this flesh from his chest. The law allows it, and the court sanction it. Again Shylock was very happy. He said, most learned judge, it is a good sentence, it is a good punishment, good decision. Come, prepare yourself, Antonio. And he called Antonio, and he said that now prepare yourself, Antonio. He was ready to cut off a pound of flesh. Okay, now Portia, tarry a little, wait a little. There is something else which I have to say. This bond doth give thee here no jot of blood. The word expressly are pound of flesh. Now here listen to it carefully, that the bond does not permit you to shed the smallest drop of blood. Though it has been written here pound of flesh, but it has not been written that even a single jot of blood, even a single drop of blood could be shed. Okay. Take then thy bond. You can take your bond. Okay. You can take the penalty as your bond says. Thou take thy pound of flesh. You can take the pound of flesh, but in the cutting it. But while cutting a pound of flesh, if thou dost shed one drop of Christian blood, but while cutting a pound of flesh, if you will shed one drop of Christian blood, thy land's your land. Okay, then what would happen? Then by the law of Venice, all your land, all your goods, all your property will be unto the state of Venice. And by the law of Venice, confiscate. Okay, confiscate means officially take away as a punishment. All the property, all your land will be taken away, will be snatched, will be taken away. Confiscate means will be taken away unto the state of Venice, will be confiscated by the state of Venice. Okay, means if you are allowed to take 1 pound of flesh, but you cannot shed even a single drop of blood. Gratiano, O upright judge, mark Jew, O learned judge. Means O upright judge, O honorable judge. Okay, listen to that Jew, O learned judge. Shylock, is that the law? Is that the law? Now he was surprised. Portia, thyself shall see the act. Okay, you shall see the act. You can also read it. For as thou urgest justice, be assured thou shalt have justice, but more than thou desirest. Means you have demanded strict justice, you will receive justice more than you desire. Gratiano, O learned judge, he was very happy. Mark, you a learned judge. Shylock, I take this offer then, pay the bond thrice and let the Christian go. Now earlier he was not ready to take 3,000 ducats even, but now he said, I take this offer. Then I accept the earlier offer, that 3,000 ducats. Pay 3 times the amount of the debts and let the Christian be free. And Bassanio has offered him 3 times, triple the amount of that 3,000 ducats. But at that time he was adamant, he was insisting on having his penalty. But now he said that I am ready to accept the earlier offer and let the Christian go. Bassanio, here is the money. And then Bassanio offered him the money. Portia, soft means wait, stop. The Jew shall have all justice soft, no haste. The Jew will have full justice, as he is asking for the justice, and he will have full justice. So no hurry, stop, do not be in such a hurry. He shall have nothing but the penalty. Now he will have nothing but the penalty only, and penalty is 1 pound of flesh. Gratiano, O Jew, an upright judge, a learned judge. O Jew, how upright and learned judge. Okay, he is. Portia, therefore prepare thee to cut off flesh, shed thou no blood, nor cut thou less nor more, but just a pound of flesh. So, Shylock, be ready to cut the pound of flesh, shed no blood, and be careful to cut neither more nor less than an exact pound of flesh. Okay. But if it be but so much as makes it light or heavy in the substance, or the division of the 20th part of one poor scruple, nay, if scale do turn but in estimation of a hair. If you take more or less than a pound, whatever it is light or heavy in weight, if it could be lighter than 1 pound of flesh or heavier than 1 pound of flesh, more or less 1/20th in excess or less than a scruple, okay, then, or if the scales of that weighing machine differ by a hair breadth from an exact weight, if slightly different from like hair, okay, then from the exact weight, then you will have death penalty if it goes higher than the value, higher than 1 pound of flesh, or if it goes lesser than 1 pound of flesh, or it could be different, okay, by a hair's breadth, then you would have death penalty and all your possessions will be confiscated, all your property will be taken away.